Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having yourself a great day. I am, because we're back in Geppetto's workshop and we're going to take a look at another Pinocchio book. Today's book is Pinocchio, the Making of the Disney Epic. And it is an epic movie. The special effects and everything that were created for this movie back in the day are very impressive to even today's standards. It is an absolutely beautiful book. It is by J.B. Kaufman, and it has a lot of beautiful artwork in it. We did a previous book by Pierre Lambert, and I absolutely love that one, but this one is just as good. It has different types of artwork and stuff in it, so I thought you would enjoy it. Pinocchio is one of my favorite movies. I absolutely love the artwork in it, and that movie is definitely better than the live action one with Tom Hanks. That was just, oh, I couldn't even watch that movie. I had to stop watching it. It's horrible. So don't waste your time if you haven't already seen it. But this one is a classic, and I absolutely love it. I have a bunch of Pinocchio's collectibles, and not enough though. I still want the Super 7 giant Pinocchio. There's two versions. There's his regular self and then the one with the donkey ears. And I hope to sometime have that, but it's way overpriced right now. I think it's like $260 and that's just ridiculous, I think. And it's unfortunate that the Super 7 lost the Disney license, so there won't be any more cool figures from them. At least at the moment. So, let's go ahead and check out this beautiful book. Well, they say the second time is a charm. I shot the video for this, and I didn't realize that I had cut off the lower half of the video. So I'm reshooting this so you can check it out. This is a fantastic book, Pinocchio, the Making of the Disney Epic, by J.B. Kaufman. And I purchased this book some time ago. You can actually purchase it on numerous websites. I don't know if Amazon has it, but it has an actual cute looking book. As you can see, it almost reminds me of Zootopia, but it's supposed to be a wood grain, and it's embossed or embossed, however you want to say it. But I think it's really cool looking, and I always keep the book covers on because I don't want them getting wrecked. But here we go again. This is a storyboard. If you're not familiar with how Disney cartoons are made, they usually come up with a concept and then they do the storyboard and they go through the scene of how they envision the movie going, and then the animators then know how they need to do their animation. So this book features a lot of drawings, concept art, the actual art. There's good old Jiminy Cricket. He looks thrilled. I've seen several animation cels like this one on eBay, but they're very expensive. Original Disney art has gone way up in price. This is a beautiful drawing, and if you're familiar with Pinocchio at all, you'll know, or if you don't know, I guess, the early Pinocchio story was actually pretty traumatic. I mean, it was a rather violent and dark movie. I mean, Disney movies themselves are a little wild sometimes and have crazy scenes, but there's original old school Pinocchio, and Pinocchio was remade on television back in the day. Actually, not television so much as movies when they first came out, and they were very strange back in the day, like silent movies. And there you can see Walt going over the storyboards. He was great at acting them out. There's videos online you can find. There is their animation studio in Burbank in 1938. It's a very famous building. Good old Mickey on the top there. And like I said, we'll start off, I think it has a lot of storyboards right there. And it was easier to do that because they could just take out scenes, move them around, and then put up new drawings in the replacement of it. And there's Walt acting them out. He was great at that. He gave great facial expression on how he wanted the characters to be. And then there was some early concept ideas. The early idea for Jiminy Cricket was kind of creepy. He ended up turning out not so much as a cricket, but you still got the idea that he was supposed to be one, but he had more of human type features, the way he walked and such. Just getting his buns toasted on the fireplace. And then here are the early pictures of Jiminy Cricket. And then there, he was definitely more like a cricket. And there's some more. And this is more toward the final version, the revised. And there's the revised cricket model sheet. And let's see what we get next here. Oh, I like this. This is the original temporary drawings of Geppetto. I actually liked him like this. I think that would have been a cute character. But they chose to go, as you can see, with a taller version of Geppetto. And that was like I said, I really do like that one. And then they had the final drawings here, along with the actor who did the voice. And there are the final sheets. And then these were passed around to all the animators so they knew how to draw, so that they all didn't have a different perspective of what Jiminy Cricket or Pinocchio were to look like. And this woman's working on a puppet, which they also used maquettes to give people the 3D view of it. And there's the early Pinocchio before he was changed. That's scary. And then there's the final sheets, custom models only. And then there is the actors, voice actors for Pinocchio. And then there's the final drawings of how Pinocchio would be in the story. I have no idea what Pinocchio is doing here. I'm not going to question that. And there he is as a real boy. And then there's Figaro and Cleo. Funny thing is, we have a cat named Cleo. We used the opposite name because I didn't want to name my cat Figaro, so we went with Cleo instead. And actually just took Cleo to the vet to get her yearly shots, or every 3-year shots. And there's some style sheets or concept ideas for Cleo the fish. I loved her attitude. And there's the fairy princess, or just fairy, I guess, the blue fairy. And then there is a female animator, well, actually a ink and paint woman. Let's see, does it say? For a time, early in 1939, the studio experimented with giving the fairy blue hair, as in the novel, which she's trying out different colors. They did different color schemes, and then they would be a final approval. And then women would usually do the inking and painting because they were thought to have steadier hands and more patience. I love doing animation cels. I actually plan to do some in the near future, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to do some coloring of them and probably give them away, just to show you an idea. And I have quite a collection of animation cels. I have some from Disney, but I also have not Brave Little Tailor. I have, let's see, what do I have? I can't remember. There's so many of them. Fievel from American Tail. I've got some from, was it Nemo in Slumberland? Which was not a huge success, but it should have been. It's an actually great cartoon. And there's the bad guy, the coachman. Yeah, Pinocchio gets a little dark. At least it's not as dark as some of the original ideas of Pinocchio and the way they were written. Disney definitely Disneyfied a lot of old classics in the early days. A lot of the nursery rhyme and classic stories were turned into animated features by many different companies, not just Disney. And there's Geppetto's bed, beautifully designed. And there's another of his clocks. And here's the town. Beautiful background, just kind of gives you a dreary foggy kind of day. It looks absolutely beautiful. And there's some more concept ideas. It's sad that a lot of this stuff is never seen unless it's put into a book. There's so much work put into movies that you actually don't see. And now on to music. The Pinocchio was featured on a bunch of different albums. There's an older one from the UK. I saw this online. I'm trying to track it down if it's not crazy priced. Unfortunately, I don't have a record player anymore, so I would have to get one. But I think that would be kind of fun to do, although I don't know I would be able to play it on video. This is just a bunch of stuff to read, but we're not going to do that. I can't read anymore anyways because I can't see the text. My eyes are that bad. And there's some music sheets if you want to sing or play it yourself. And there's Monstrose. And the animation drawings in the ocean scene was absolutely crazy. There was so much work put into that. They also used a lot of live action to get the realistic look to the movie. And the funny enough thing is, if you watch the end, when Pinocchio is in the wagon, this particular wagon, or one like it, was actually shot. And you can see the real wagon in the movie, which is quite interesting. That gave it a real good likeness when he's driving over the bumps. That's how they're doing that there. And then this is where they, in the intro, they masked this off, and then they had the camera pan through, and it gave it a realistic look, which was a newer thing at the time. A lot of old cartoons had a flat background, and it was kind of blah. So Disney used a multi-plane camera. As you can see, there's several things separated, and when the camera would zoom in, it would give it more depth, which was a really cool thing. And there's someone doing sound effects for the water. There's Pinocchio turning into a donkey. There's Jiminy Cricket at the fireplace. And if you are into Pinocchio, or just books in general in Disney, I have some fantastic high-end books. They have a lot more animation cells in them. And actually, right after I do this one, I'm going to be doing that book again. I had done a preview in the past, but I wanted to redo it with a higher quality camera. And this was a funny scene with Jiminy Cricket. And there was a crazy amount of clocks, which would have driven me insane. I don't like listening to clocks tick. But yeah, he had a lot of them, and I can just imagine them all going off at the same time. And this is a pan through the village, which they did on a weird angle, which is some of these, they did the overheads. And this is when he gets himself in trouble with a bunch of shady characters. This was funny when he fell on the floor and his nose got stuck in there's the stage that he was dancing on, and that's the hole where his nose fell in. But here he is, more on-stage drawings, and then back at the house with Figaro. And then basically Pinocchio was in debt and had to continue dancing to, yeah, it's definitely a dark scene and creepy when he's, this was very cool and a realistic thing, the way they did all this rain when Geppetto was looking for Pinocchio. And there's the bad fox. And this is in several books, this background scene. It's, I was trying to read what it said in there. I can't see that far. And there is, this kind of reminds me of, was it the Crystal Palace where you eat in the Magic Kingdom? That kind of reminds me of that. There's some more storyboards. Smoking, very bad. There's more of that beautiful background art. There is Pinocchio going through the town. Beautiful artwork. It's either gouache or watercolors. Watercolors was used a lot. Actually, they used watercolors in Stitch. Lilo and Stitch, which is one of my favorites. And there's the crazy whale scene. They're trying to get themselves some fish. There's more monstros. And when he brings his little boy back on shore. And then he's a real boy. And some promotional merchandise, which I'd love to get my hands on. Some of it is probably very hard to even get. There's a lot of the promotional material and books. There's a paint book. Would love to get my hands on that. There's actually a bunch of them. As you can see, these are all coloring books. I'll have to try to find those. That would be cool. Trying to find them without being colored in would be even a harder task probably, because kids usually color in coloring books. Although I buy a bunch and put them away myself. So there's more promotional material, actually in a different country it looks like. But I've done a bunch of different Pinocchio art. I'll actually share it with you shortly. And we're wrapping this up. Gold pages just kind of give you some different information. All right, and that's it. That's the panoramic that they used in the scenes. But while I'm wrapping this up, I'll show you some of my artwork here. I plan to do some more Pinocchio paintings at some point. I just love Pinocchio. I did one. If I can find a picture, I'll show you. But I never got it back. It went to China to be shown in Disneyland. And it is Pinocchio with his nose, a real wood going off the canvas, so Pinocchio's nose, and then I had flowers on the end, and it was real sad to lose that, but unfortunately crap happens sometimes. But I want to finish up this book, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do thumbs up the video and share with your friends. And I'd like to wish you a magical day, and I will catch you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. Bye-bye.